Welcome to the Diaspora Door podcast, where stories soar and cultures collide. Join us as we journey through vibrant voices and untold tales from around the globe. Let's celebrate the heartbeat of the diaspora together.
Hey there, welcome to the Diaspora Door. It's me, your host, Sam-Omojevu, and I am so pumped and glad to be here with all of you today. Today we are going to be speaking about humor, laughter. It's so important. And we're going to talk about the impact that laughter and having fun has in the diaspora. In particular, the diaspora, as you know, many people have left their homelands and created diasporas in other countries outside of their homelands. And as we have spoken on many other podcast episodes, that comes with successes and challenges as individuals are establishing in their new countries outside of their homelands. And during that time, you gotta have some fun, you gotta have some levity, something that is going to be uplifting you so that you don't fall into the doldrums of the doom and gloom. You know me, you guys. I love a good laugh. I've got a loud one. Sometimes it gives people headaches, and hopefully, for the most part, it gives people some joy when they hear me cackling away. And that brings me to the guest that we have today. And we are so blessed to have an individual who is an MC and a comedian in his own right. And he is part of the Nigerian diaspora in Alberta, in Calgary, Alberta, in Canada, which very soon people in Calgary are going to need a lot of humor because the cold is fast and furious and on its way. So we have Sam Precious, who is with us, Omojevu, and he is currently the Regional Health and Safety Coordinator for RME, and I'm going to have him give the acronym of what RME is. He has a unique storytelling skill that holds every room which he speaks in. He is a public speaker and, as I said, a master of ceremonies and a comedian. He's got a great gift for the gab. He's got a great stories to tell. His humor is just the best. And I think it's important for us to just remember that humor is, achieved by surprising an audience and clever language or character, which certainly Sam has, and the benefits of laughter. I mean, it lowers stress, anxiety, enhances the immune systems, relieves pain, boosts moods. There's so much that humor and laughter takes care of, and that's why we just thought, hey, let's have a podcast on this humor in the diaspora. So, Sam, welcome, and thank you for being here. And I will let you begin. Please, Sam, I'll let you begin by just letting us know what life was like. I can just imagine you as a youngin' and being quite the kid. So what was life like growing up in Nigeria with your family before you descended and immigrated to Canada, please?
First things first, thanks for having me, like I said earlier. Honestly, if I start the story, we're not going to leave here. But I was blessed to grow up in a large family. And for those of us that are from the Niger Delta, one thing that is common with our parents is that they had multiple wives. So I was very fortunate to grow up in a large polygamous family with so many stepmothers, so many stepbrothers and sisters. My mom had 4 boys and 1 girl. And
Wow.
life wasn't really easy. And I like to share this story to encourage people because we have to be split into two. Some we go to school in the morning, others we go in the afternoon. Why? Because those that go in the morning, when they come back, they go street hawking. Then those of us that went to school in the afternoon, when while our siblings are going in the morning, we go hawking in the morning. So it was a very, very, very beautiful experience
Sam, can
because
you
it
explain what hawking means for people, some of our
okay. So
listeners,
for those
please?
of you that are not conversant with hockey, if you check, if you in third world countries, we have what we call street hawkers. So they sell you different items on the street, right? So your parents would give you a tray, put it on your head, and you put the items on it. Then you walk around screaming whatever you are carrying. If you're carrying
Good
banana,
job. Could
you're
you
screaming
dance
banana.
a jig while you're doing that? Good job
Yes,
balancing
I
that.
can. I did it at work one day, and everybody said it was voodoo, right? I can still walk around with it because it never leaves you, right? Because your head
Look at
automatically,
you.
for real,
Wow.
I'm telling you, like
Look at
I,
that.
I, can, do- I can do it walking around because it's something that we learned growing up, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so I always tell people, I'm like, so many of us had it very good, but so many of us did not have it very easy growing up,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I had a fun childhood. And
Mm-hmm.
looking back right now, if not for my childhood, I wouldn't have been this motivated to push myself to get to where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, 39, approaching 40 May next year. I can
Wow.
tell you very boldly, I've done pretty well for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that I haven't started yet with the
Wow.
dreams and visions that I have in my mind. I've been to 4 continents. I've traveled the world talking, just speaking to people,
Yeah.
sharing my story, making people laugh. Because honestly, the world needs more laughter right now.
Yes.
This is one of the most critical times that
Yes.
humor cannot be underestimated, both in the
Mm-hmm.
workplace, both in politics, both on air.
Mm-hmm.
Humor is selling right now. So thanks for
Well,
having me. I'm excited to be
thank
here.
you.
Over.
Thank you. Please, Sam, you breezed past how your dad had many wives. That's something our listeners need to, because polygamy in Africa back in the day when your dad had many wives, very different than polygamy in North America. Could you talk
Yeah.
about that a bit for our listeners? Because I'm sure they're like, he had what? What?
Okay. Let me share the story of a neighbor.
Hmm.
And one of the things I like to tell people is don't be too quick to judge because you really do not know about the background of other people, right? My neighbor currently in Canada told me that his dad has 36 children. And I'm like, you're joking.
Wow.
And he showed me a picture. And in Africa, before our generation,
Yeah.
polygamy was a big thing. The more wives and the more children you had, the more respected you were.
Okay.
Let me say that again. So let's say you have 4 brothers.
Mm-hmm.
The 4 brothers, one has a bachelor's degree, this one has a master's degree,
Mm.
this one is a professor,
Yeah.
and the last born of the house did not go to school,
Okay.
never went to school, went into business, married 3 or 4 wives, had lots of children.
Mm.
If these 3 older brothers have one wife each and have like 2 or 3 children,
Yeah.
traditionally, according to tradition, in some parts of Africa, the youngest is the senior. Why? He has more wives
Hmm.
and he has more children.
Wow.
And that was why so many of our forefathers had so many children,
Mm-hmm.
right? They wanted their family name to be known around the world. And I asked this guy, "Do you know all your siblings?" I used to think that my family was the largest until I started meeting people from other parts of Africa, even not in Nigeria, not in West Africa, that had bigger family. Right now, people want to say it is outdated. It is not. 2024, you can check on Google. Young men around my age, there was one that went viral on social media. This young man, I think he was 36, actually married two friends on the same day,
Oh, brother.
traditionally. For real. I shared the picture on my Instagram,
Oh, boy.
and people were like, "Sam, are you joking?" Like, my
Yeah.
colleagues are on my social media, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're like, "Sam, bring this to LinkedIn." I said, "No, I'm not bringing it on LinkedIn. Let's keep LinkedIn professional."
Yeah.
Right? So and guess what? One of the things it did for us who grew up in large families is naturally we were going through a school and learning about individual differences
Yeah.
without being taught, right? Because if you grew up in a family that you had three stepmothers, for example, or two stepmothers, and you
Yeah.
have stepbrothers and stepsisters, you already understand individual differences. You know the one that doesn't like to talk.
Yeah.
You know the one that talks a lot. You know the one that is good in athletics. You know the one that is good in cooking.
Yeah.
So it makes you understand that, okay, not everyone has it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it gave me an advantage because I get to practice my craft before a large group of people who are all family members,
You
right?
got an audience. And
Exactly. So I'm always grateful for it. People think that, oh, you didn't get all the attention growing up. I'm like,
yeah.
bro,
Yeah.
I wouldn't trade it for anything,
Wow.
because in the 21st century, we have people who have one wife and one child or two children, but they are still absent fathers and absent mothers, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it is
Yeah.
not about the number, it is about the effort you put in.
Yes.
So it is one part of my childhood I am so proud of and I'm very grateful for. But for now, I still have one wife.
And I'm
Only one
sure
for now.
Destiny would like it to be that way.
We hope that it remains.
What do you mean we hope? Get
I think
Destiny.
I think one is enough. I think one is enough.
Yeah, I think one is enough. One husband's enough and one wife's enough. Yeah, and I'm sure Destiny would agree with that. So bring us to how did you get talk a little bit about school in Nigeria and how did you then make the move to Canada of all the cold places from Nigeria?
Okay, so just like we have the grade schools in Canada and in America, in Nigeria it is called the secondary school. So when you
Mm-hmm.
finish uh, grade, then you go to middle school, then you go to high school.
Mm-hmm.
In Nigeria, when you're 6 years to 10 years up to 12 years, you are in primary school, which is like grades. Then middle school and high school is what we call secondary school.
Yeah.
So when I was in the last year of secondary school, I was appointed as the senior prefect of the school. That is like the president of the students, right?
Does not
And
surprise me in the least.
that gave me my first speaking opportunity,
Mm,
right?
mm.
Being young, standing before, because my school was a public school. So I had over 2,000 people in my school, and I'm
Wow.
standing before them making an announcement, right? Everyone is listening, and it
Hmm.
felt good, right? Like, it gave me the opportunity to like show off a little bit,
Yeah.
and I really loved it.
Hmm.
And when I left high school and went to the university, I told myself, okay, public speaking, making people laugh as a master of ceremony, being a public speaker, being a comedian is something that I really want to do on the
Yeah.
long run. And honestly, I think my secondary school was the birthplace of what I am doing today,
Wow.
right?
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And that is why I tell everyone, because I do a little bit of coaching and mentorship on the side. I tell the teenagers and the youths that I teach, I tell them, listen, whatever you want to do, start trying it out right now.
Yeah.
Try it out. You may not be the best at it, but keep trying it out and you will see the result that comes of it. So when I finished my bachelor's degree, I went further to get a master's degree in public administration. And honestly, I'm so grateful I did, because it just set me up for success.
Mm-hmm.
And the story has not been the same since.
So tell me, um, when I was introducing your bio, your regional RME. What does that mean?
So RME means Rocky Mountain Equipment. We are an agricultural and construction company based in the city of Calgary. Our corporate headquarters is in downtown Calgary, around downtown, but we have branches in three provinces: Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Winnipeg, and Alberta,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I moved to Canada, I switched into health and safety fully, because I had a little bit of health and safety background from back home,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I tried my hand lecturing. It wasn't really fun. I spent a little bit of time in the oil and gas sector.
Mm-hmm.
Then I found my feet in health and safety.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just so grateful I did, because right now I'm the first aid instructor for my company,
Mm-hmm.
and I also use my skill set as a public speaker in my day-to-day dealings as the regional health and safety manager for Southern Alberta. So that is what I do for my 9 to 5, and I do public speaking. I do MCs. I do uh, comedy as my side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
So 9 to 5 and 5 to 9.
Hmm. Okay, so before we get to your side hustle, so you come to Canada with Destiny, your wife, or you
Yes,
met her in Canada?
we actually got married 10 years ago. April 5th and 6th,
Nice.
2026 will be 11 years. So we got
Congrats.
married in Nigeria and had our first two sons in Nigeria, Declan and Danzel. They
Mm-hmm.
are 9 years and 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So we moved here as a family of four. And when we got to Canada, we had one more, so that we could have
Nice.
a Canadian citizen by birth.
Well done. Well
So
done.
he's the baby of the house. So he's 3 years old, and so I'm blessed with three boys for now. For now, I always like to say for now, because you never can tell. Maybe next year I'll be having triplet girls, right?
Destiny, I'm sure, would like to have something to say about that. I am
Yeah,
sure.
when she sees the video, she can have something to say. But no,
Too funny. So you're in Canada, you and Destiny and the kids, and how did you hook up to do comedy or MC? How did that happen?
okay, so when we moved to Canada on April 23rd, 2019, we actually moved here as federal skilled workers on permanent residence.
Mm-hmm.
And because we were both young, my wife had a master's degree in chemistry, a bachelor's in chemistry. So it was quite easy for us, right? Being young and being highly skilled and highly educated. And when I moved here, the first thing I did was that I looked for my local church, which is the Redeemed Christian Church of God. And I started from there. I started introducing myself, telling people, oh, I'm a public speaker, I'm a master of ceremony, I'm a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
So if some persons were like, oh, that's strange, because in
Yeah.
2019, there was no big market for it here in Calgary, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can tell you very boldly
Because
that
you're all the serious cowboys in Calgary. There's no comedy
exactly,
fun.
exactly. So it's always oil and gas, cowboy stuff, right?
Yeah.
And lots of snow, right?
Yeah.
So when we moved here, I started looking around, and I started a comedy club,
Oh,
or would I say an event called the Evening of Laughter with Sam Precious and friends.
oh, cool.
And honestly, I think last year was our breakthrough year because we had over 1,000 people at my comedy show.
Wow.
So I do it
Wow.
once every year, and
Wait. You're skipping over things. So, comedy show, you're saying it's 6 years or so. So, how did
yes,
that begin? And is it just you? And who are the friends? Who do you pick?
exactly.
Like, does Eddie Murphy come or what goes on? Kind
So
of thing. Chris
so
Rock.
I call it Evening of Laughter with Sam Precious and friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I bring on comedians from every part of the world. Last year I had an Indian lady, Shukla. She's also a lawyer by trade. I
Wow.
had the king of Nigerian comedy. We call him the king of Nigerian comedy. His name is Ali Baba. He flew in from Nigeria. I've had Helen Paul on my show.
Mm.
I've had Acapella. I've had Forever, Grand Commander, and so
Wow.
many other people. Proyeti. These are household names in the comedy sector, right?
Yeah.
And we're already planning for the last. So I do it every last Friday of May every year. We're
Mm.
already putting together plans for 2026, but it has grown every
Yes.
year to a larger number. Even though people have been saying, "Hey Sam, why don't you do it 2 or 3 times in a year?" I'm like, no, I like the suspense, right? So so it gives you time. You're like, oh, come on now, I'm waiting for this event. But immediately that happened, the Nigerian community started having more events also, right?
Yeah.
From let's say having 20 events in a year, I can tell you boldly that from January to December 2025, I have had over 25 or 35 bookings.
What are the bookings though, Sam? Are they like weddings or are they comedy?
And
What?
every type of event.
Mm,
So in January, for example, when it is snowing and really bad,
yeah.
things are pretty slow. But I had a 50th birthday January 2025, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was the 50th birthday. I have 2 events in January 2025. By February is Valentine, right?
Yeah.
I had like 3 different gatherings of people having Valentine hangouts with
Mm,
couples, with young people. So I get public speaking engagement. If I don't get public speaking engagement, I get master of ceremony opportunities. If I don't get master of ceremony opportunities, they will be like, "Hey Sam, we can't afford you for the whole day. Just come give us comedy for 1 hour," right?
right. Right.
So the doors have just been opening. By March, when the weather is getting better,
Yes.
oh, everywhere there's one event or the other, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's been good. I really can't complain. And also, the good thing about what I do is international doors are also opening, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I've been to countries outside Canada for events in the US, right? In the Caribbean,
Mm-hmm.
and also outside my province. I am based in Calgary, Alberta,
Yes.
but I've been to Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto, other cities, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is what I tell everyone. Whatever you're doing, put your heart to it. Keep learning. Keep asking the right questions, and your
How,
skill will just pick up for you.
how, Sam, as you say, Montreal, that's the French spin. You got Toronto, Caribbean. How do you put together your material, your audiences? What have you had any bombs where that didn't go well? Like, bring us into how you prepare for these comedy gigs, please.
Good. So one of the things I do is to ask about my audience.
Great. Yeah.
Once anybody reaches out to me, the first question I ask is, "Tell me about your audience." Let me
Mm-hmm.
give you a good example. Today is October 8th, right?
Yep.
4 days ago, the biggest gathering of Nigerians in Calgary is called the Nigerian Canadian Association of Calgary Gala.
Yes, yes, it's huge. The
It's
numbers. Can you remind me? I think it's thousands.
almost 2,000.
Huge. Wow.
I know it was over 1,500, approaching almost 2,000 attendees. Now, I was the master of ceremony for that event. So the
Wow.
first question I asked is, what are the expectations for the event?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because for such an event, the content they need may not be centered around the African audience alone, because we're going to be
Yes.
having the mayor of the city, we're going to be having people from different walks of
The
life,
mixed
right?
crowd. Mixed crowd. Mixed
Exactly, the
crowd.
mixed crowd. So for a mixed crowd, you can't see me using a slang
Yeah.
that people would understand.
Like Natori.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So once the client reaches out to me and tells me what their expectations are, and I understand the audience, and
Mm-hmm.
you won't believe it, on Saturday, October 4th, before I went to the NCAC gala at 5 p.m.,
Yeah.
I actually did a wedding at 1 p.m.
Wow.
So when you are good at your craft, people would. I have had clients who have moved their date because I would be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm not available on the Friday." They will be like, "How about Saturday?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm booked for that Saturday." They say, "Sam, please tell me you're available Sunday." I say, "Yes, Sunday is free," and they will be
Wow.
like, "Don't worry, we'll move things around. We'll move it to Sunday."
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because they've seen my content and they want me to be a part of their celebration, right?
Wow.
And I'm just so grateful because since 2019 till now, putting my ears down, listening to feedback,
Yeah.
getting corrections, getting better every year, it has just been a rise and a rise, and I hope that it keeps going up and up.
But Sam, how do you, and I like what you just said, you're taking input from people and, you're trying to do one better and what's going to develop your skill. You can't make everyone laugh. Like what's funny for one person might not be for another. So as you're getting this critique or people saying, well, why don't you say this or do this joke? Where do you draw the line and how do you know that, well, you know what? No, that's where I'm going to take that joke. Sorry, you don't like it, but that's where I'm going to take it. How do you
But-
distinguish what you keep and as input from and feedback from people?
So one of the things I tell people is never lose your originality,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? Because once you start losing who you are,
Yeah.
you start becoming someone else.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Let me give you a real life scenario,
I was gonna
right?
ask. Please. Thank you.
Bro. So when I moved to Canada in 2019, during housekeeping, because the first thing I do at all my events is to do proper housekeeping. I arrive 30 minutes or 1 hour before the event,
Mm-hmm.
check the washrooms, check the emergency exit, right? The muster point, the parking, and everything.
Right. Right.
One of the things I used to always say during housekeeping, because I had a bad experience, was either in California or Atlanta, where I went into a washroom and I discovered that the washroom was a gender neutral washroom.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
So when I came back to Canada, I used to always say this. Now, just listen to it and tell me if it is offensive or not. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this gathering. Please be informed that the emergency exits are located here, here, and there.
Mm-hmm.
The muster point is here. Please make sure you are parked in the right spot. Finally, for the washrooms, we only have two types of washrooms here. We have washrooms for men and washrooms for women. Peradventure, you are here and you are neither a man nor a woman, I'm sorry, we don't have washrooms for you.
Oh
You
boy.
cannot you cannot use any of the washrooms.
Oh boy.
And guess what? Naturally, some people would laugh,
Laugh.
correct?
Yeah, some would. Yep.
But guess what? One of the most respected elders in the community called me aside after a couple of years and said, "Son, I'm very proud of you because you've become a household name in Calgary, in Canada,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want you to lose relevance." And the lady said, "I have been in Canada for 36 years.
Mm.
And what you are saying now, 36 years ago, won't offend anybody.
Yeah.
15 years ago, nobody would be offended." And she said, and I quote her, she said, "In this day and age, you need to change your choice of words."
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you won't believe it. I thanked her. And from that day till today, I have never said that again.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Even though I explained to her what happened to me,
Yeah.
when I started saying that, she said, I understand, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you have to be as inclusive as you can be.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
That is just one example
Mm-hmm.
of one of the times I got burned, right? But
Yeah.
I immediately learned from it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Another thing I want people to know is no matter how much feedbacks you get
Yeah.
as a public speaker, as a master of ceremony, as a comedian, you will always step on toes.
Yeah. Yeah.
When somebody brings a feedback to you, "Oh, thank you so much. I really apologize. My intentions were not to hurt your feelings," and you move on and you just do better,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
But still holding on to how funny you are, what you bring to the game. If not, you start losing a touch of who you are. I've had people that moved to Calgary after me, and they changed their accent.
Yeah.
But guess what? I have had people who are not Nigerians book me for events because they said they like the sound of my voice.
Right. Right. Right.
So be original. My first boss in Canada was a Russian.
Mm-hmm.
You won't believe it. Anytime that guy gets angry in a large meeting like this, he will be speaking English, and before you know what is happening, he switches to Russian and he's speaking Russian unknowingly. But that is his roots, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't lose your originality because you're trying so hard to fit in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've always spoken like this all my life.
Yeah.
I
Right.
try a little bit more to pronounce my words clearer when I'm in the midst of people who are not Nigerians or Africans, but
Yeah.
you would never. I wish I could speak like you, but I can't.
Ah, right.
It would be a dream come true if I had your accent. Maybe I'll be
You're.
booking more jobs
Oh
for non
boy. Listen to
for non
you.
for non-Africans, right? That would be one of my selling points.
That is so fun. Well, and that brings it to the diaspora, like the different diasporas that you work in. So, how the challenge that it is as you're
Yes.
moving from place to place. Like if you were to go to Dubai and present, and then if you're, like you said, you're in Montreal, you've done some gigs in Montreal. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
added some French into your routine or whatnot, but it does pose some challenges, right? The
It, it,
audiences are going to be different, they're going to receive you different.
it poses a lot of challenges. So Alberta is conservative.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there are jokes that I can tell in Alberta that people would laugh out. They would laugh at it. They will roll on the floor.
Like
If
for
I go to
instance, example.
example, let's say I'm talking about Donald Trump, for example, right?
Okay. Yep.
Oh, they would love it because Alberta is more like the US.
Yeah. Okay. Hmm.
Now, it's okay. Let me say it's more like Texas, not the entire
Yes.
US.
Yep.
Now, if I go to Ontario or Montreal or
Yeah.
Vancouver, they are more like California.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So the content I will be giving to them there has to be something that is relatable to them.
Yes. Right. Right.
The last Sunday of this year, last Sunday of December 2025, my last gig for the year is actually going to be in Vancouver.
Oh,
And you
great.
won't believe it. I'm going to be talking about the rain because they don't have snow
Yeah.
in Vancouver like in Alberta,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but they have lots of rain.
Yes.
And you will see people carrying umbrella and raincoats. We don't do that in Alberta. So you look for things, you read about things, you research about, thank God for Google,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so I do a little bit of research. If someone flies me out to Dubai, I was in Nigeria in August,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
When I went to Nigeria in August, I had to get content that people in Nigeria, in Lagos, Nigeria, can relate to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to Dubai, for example, I'm going to other parts of the world,
Mm-hmm.
right? I would definitely be giving them something that they can grasp. In November, we're going to be in Mexico,
Oh,
and
wow.
January next year, I'm going to be in Jamaica. So
Mm-hmm.
any place I'm going to, I ask a few questions about what they do,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And try to connect with them at that level.
So, how do you get gigs in Mexico, Jamaica? Like, what is that from your posting, marketing? How do
So
people know about you?
so one of the things that have helped me so much is social media. So I
Mm,
have a good number of followers on Instagram,
okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so my Instagram handle is Precious Sam 29, and I don't just post events. I post funny stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get serious and I talk about something serious once in a while, but I
Mm-hmm.
like to keep it fun so that people know that with all the madness and bad news in the world,
Yes.
this guy is one of the guys that just makes people laugh, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it has helped me a lot because people send my page to other people like, man, this guy is good. Most of the events I get is a referral,
Okay. Yep. Word of mouth.
word, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that has helped me a lot is that my wife has an event management agency
Okay.
because she is also a public speaker and a coach. So
Mm-hmm.
she has a business called Event Pro Coach, right? So
Yeah.
when people reach out to her to manage their event, she'll be like, "Oh, so who's your MC for the day?" Automatically, my name gets into conversations like that, right?
Okay. Yep.
Also, there are so many other people that I have done jobs for. I've been doing this for 19 years.
Hmm.
Next
Hmm.
year is going to be my 20th year anniversary as a public speaker and MC. And so if I did a job for you 19 years ago, maybe it was your 50th birthday or 40th
Mm-hmm.
birthday. Now your daughter is getting married. You
Yes.
would you would definitely say, no, I remember this guy. He was fantastic bringing him on this. Most of the brides, most of the grooms that I MC their weddings, they don't even know me.
Hmm.
But someone in their family has attended my event and they will
Yes.
be like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll bring the MC for you. That is my support for the wedding."
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And they take care of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then after the wedding, the bride and the groom and all her bridal party and groomsmen and her friends, they'll be like, "Whoa, where have you been? Like, we didn't know you were that good."
Mm-hmm.
Something so beautiful happened to me in, was it July? July, yes, July. I emceed the wedding of two amazing people, Dominic and Irene.
Mm.
And you won't believe it. After the wedding, I went home and they sent me a tip of 1,000 Canadian dollars.
Wow.
Now, when somebody sends you a tip of 1,000 Canadian dollars, you know that you have done something unique,
It's
right?
huge. Yeah.
And when I called them, the guy was like, bro, everybody have been talking about you. Like you made them laugh, you engaged them, the games you brought. Because I don't just do comedy, I manage the event from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There was a doctor in Texas that came to Calgary to marry another doctor. And when we finished, I was so surprised. They sent me a tip of $500
Hmm.
without even asking, without
Hmm.
mentioning it. Why? They get more than their money's worth. And it
Yeah.
comes with experience, right? When you've done something for a couple of years, you
Mm-hmm.
just keep getting better at it. So that's the story behind the Sam Precious brand. And my friend started calling me, was it 2023? 2022 or 2023? My friend started calling me Calgary's finest MC. And the name just stuck,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But a few months ago, I sat and I said, I don't just want to be a local champion. So now I changed it. I said, the global MC, Calgary's finest.
Nice. Nice. Well
Because
done.
I want to go around the world. So it's been a learning curve of
Mm-hmm.
learning and learning and relearning. But I'm so grateful for the doors and the opportunities being a public speaker, a master of ceremony, and a comedian has opened for me.
So Sam, thank you for sharing that. So throw us a pitch. Give us I'm putting you on the spot, but give us and this is improv, I guess. I'm giving you Saturday Night Live. Give us
Let's go.
a comedy. So you're presenting to the Diaspora Door, the audience, and you're our comedian, my friend, for the evening. Give us a sampler of what you would do.
Ladies and gentlemen, please do not tell my wife this, but I want to let you in a very, very private secret.
I'm laughing already. Anyway.
You are aware that most women have never, ever in their life lied to their husbands before. But guess what? When a woman decides to lie to you will never find out the truth. Recently, I just discovered that my first son is actually not my real son.
What?
I had a private, secret DNA test and discovered that my first son is actually my immediate younger brother.
What? As if.
And guess what? Sometimes I will tell a joke that some people will not even get
Yeah.
the joke
Yeah.
until they are driving home,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
having a conversation with their spouse, like, wait, hold on. I thought this was what he meant.
Yeah.
And because people interpret it is just like an elephant, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
the story of two blind people touching an elephant, right? Somebody
Mm-hmm.
touched the tusk,
Yeah.
another person touched the
The
tail,
tail.
right?
Yeah.
And they asked them, describe an elephant.
Yes.
I have had people call me and say, Sam, please explain this your joke for me. Were you serious or was it a joke? And once I bring my voice down and be like, ladies and gentlemen, can I have can I have your attention, please? They will think I'm saying something really serious, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember going for an event and I talked about raising children in Africa and raising children in the Western world, right?
Yes. Yes.
Those of us that they raised in Africa, I don't know about you, but I never told my father that my father was a liar.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But children here, if you promise your son that you want to take him to the playground to play, and maybe you did 12 hours that day, your supervisor told you, oh, come and do extra time. We,
Yeah.
we have overtime. And you get home, you are tired. If you tell your son, hey, Junior, I promise you tomorrow I will take you to the playground. Your son, 5 years old, 6 years old, will
Yeah.
tell you, Daddy, you are a liar. You lied because you did not keep your promise. How many of you here in this house have ever told your dad that he's a liar? And nobody will raise their hand in the
Yes.
audience.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes.
and I use storytelling a lot, right? I may start with a story about, oh, my first winter in Canada,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
had so much snow at the front of my glass. So I plugged water in the electric kettle and poured it on my glass, hoping that it will melt the snow.
Like on your
I jumped
car. Is that what you mean?
on, yes, on my
Yeah.
windshield.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people, so after the event, I always like to hang around. Why?
Yeah.
Because people be like, oh, okay, I, I heard this story. Was it true or was it just a story? Right? I'm like, whatever you want to make of it is
Yes.
yours, right? I've done my job, right? And you just take pictures, make new friends, people follow you on social media,
Yeah.
just like that. And that is how the brand have just been growing.
Now, there are some comedians who sometimes have dealt with, oh, people feel they're being offensive because they're picking on people. How do you deal with that, with your
So, so, so,
audiences picking?
so
Sometimes people will pick a comedian. I've been at comedy shows, and you don't want to be in the front line, the front seats, because the comedian is going to, hey, you, the guy with the receding hairline, or you
you,
who, yeah.
what?
How do you pull people out?
I've attended master classes of comedians, I've attended trainings. And one of the unique things that distinguishes me from every other comedian is I feel that it is people that do not have enough content that start using the audience for a joke.
Okay.
I've been in an audience where a comedian used a fat woman at the front
Yeah.
for like 30 minutes. And the audience were laughing, but the woman was not laughing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one thing I like to do is I tell everyone coming for my comedy show, I'm like, listen, we have the roast, the roast tables and the non-roast tables.
Yeah.
If you are okay being roasted, sit on the roast table. And
Yeah.
some people like it, right?
Yeah. Yes.
I remember telling a joke about people exercising in Canada. Bro, when I moved to Canada in 2019, I saw a woman jogging. If you see the woman, she was so slim and so lean. I was looking at her like my neck was following her like this. It was later I discovered that you can't look at people like that. So if I tell that kind of joke, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
An average African woman is not skinny. You
Yeah.
know what I mean,
Yeah.
right?
Mm,
If
mm.
you are plumpy, you are plus size, the better for some of us men, right? So moving to Canada and seeing that being skinny is a big thing for them. They love it here,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, content there, but you are not picking on one person. You
Yeah.
are you are, you are talking about it in a broader perspective.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's one of the things I try to avoid. So if you bring me to your comedy show for your event, for example, I would ask you, do you want your audience to be roasted? Are they comfortable being roasted? Because there are some people you will roast.
Yeah. It
They will throw
triggers bad thing.
they will throw things at you on the stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not good for your career and your image. So I try not to do that. I'm not one of those. Because I
Okay.
have a lot of content in my brain, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I listen to Dave Chappelle a lot. And
Yes.
I've never seen him using his audience as part of his content.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why? He's an intelligent comedian.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you have the content, you really do not need to use your audience. That's just how I see it.
But using Dave Chappelle as an example, there are people he's pissed off because he can get pretty raw, right? And I think what happens is it triggers events in people, like maybe people who have been abused, people who are marginalized. It touches a nerve.
One of the reasons why I use Dave Chappelle a lot is because, like I said, you must never lose your originality.
Yeah,
Are you aware that there are some people that want to go through life without their feelings never being hurt?
yeah, yeah.
Is it possible?
We wish it were possible, but yeah,
It's not possible, right?
yeah, yeah,
But we're living in a dispensation right now where freedom of speech is only when it is conducive for me.
hmm, yeah,
It shouldn't be that way. Freedom of speech, there are some speech that you do not agree with. What
yeah,
do? You switch to the next comedian.
yeah.
Should we cancel one person because the person is leaning towards conservative or liberal?
Mm,
No. Cancel culture. Recently, everyone have been talking about, oh, let's cancel Netflix. Because I'm like, bro, if you cannot control what your children watch, I'm sorry, I can't be blaming Netflix because of you.
yeah,
There's a place for parental control. So I believe very strongly that as a comedian, as a public speaker, as a master of ceremony, you must be intelligent enough to know that no matter what you say or do, there are some persons that don't even want to see you.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
unfortunately. Yeah,
that's it.
unfortunately.
That's it.
Unfortunately. Would you, as we're just going to close up, Sam, thank you so much. Your sons, would you encourage them to be MCs or comedians? What's your take on that?
My two older sons, 2 years ago, at their mom's 35th birthday,
Yeah.
they actually came out and did a comedy skit.
Oh, that is so cute.
And that's one of my proudest moments because they did not tell me.
How
And
old?
and
How
you
old
know,
were they? Were they when they did that?
they were 7 and 6,
Wow.
or let me say 8 and 7, right?
Mm, mm.
But guess what? Everybody laughed, right? And because they have a Canadian accent, saying funny things in the Canadian accent with it, like when they say "now wow" with their Canadian accent, it's more beautiful, right?
Yes. Yes.
So I'm encouraging them. They currently have a YouTube channel, and I'm already encouraging them because, like Warren Buffett said, public speaking is something that you cannot shy away from if you want to be successful in life.
Yes. Yes. True.
Every one of us, we need, even though you can't speak, if you give me a microphone in a stadium, don't tell me what to say, just throw the microphone to me and say, Sam, engage everybody for 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Something will pop up in my brain, right?
Yeah.
Some persons will pee their pants. I thrive in chaos. I thrive in such places. There's no conversation that is difficult for me to have, be it on stage or off stage, right? And I try to read, research, and hold my ground so that I'm not just talking trash, right?
Right, right,
So
right.
that's something that I feel they would do well and even do better than me because I didn't start very early. Like I said, I started when I was in SS3, which is like grade 12,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So they have already started now and they are not yet 10.
Mm-hmm.
And they try to, whenever they go with me to event, I tell them, guys, just listen, watch and learn, right?
Yeah.
So that I think next year, during the next edition of my Evening of Laughter with Sam Precious and Friends, I may just bring them on stage to introduce me before I come on stage, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
It gives them the ability to understand that this crowd, they are just human beings. You don't have to be afraid of them. Because one of the greatest challenges we have as public speakers, MCs, and comedians is stage fright.
Yes. I would think.
And
Yeah.
once you are able to conquer stage fright, bro, you're good.
How do
And
you how do you
guess
conquer how do you conquer
good.
stage fright?
One of the reasons I am good at what I do is because I conquered stage fright very early by involving myself in debates. You know, when we are growing up in Africa, in Nigeria, we always have debating and literary societies and clubs in schools, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was always one of those. Good day, moderator, accurate timekeeper, my co-debaters, and the audience. I'm here to defend the motion that women are more intelligent than men, right?
Woo! Yep.
You will see people clapping and hyping
Yes.
you up.
Yeah.
And guess what? I did not know that I was already being trained from that age.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So when I got to high school, which is secondary school, I was already tough because I started debating in my grade days. That is in my primary school days.
Hmm.
So, but for grown-ups, I tell them first things first. Be prepared.
Right.
I had someone reach out to me on Instagram, and the person said he wanted to be my mentee.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time. It was strange to me. I think it was January this year. My first event that I went to this year, January, I actually asked him to do housekeeping. So we went very early, right?
Mm-hmm.
I told him this is the first thing I do. I check the washroom, check this. So
Mm.
we sat down and said, so you're going to introduce me. But before you introduce me, welcome everybody and tell them about the emergency exit, do your
Mm.
housekeeping
Mm.
and everything. Guess what? This year alone, I think I have given that young man between 5 to 10 jobs
Wow.
because he went with me to several events.
Mm-hmm.
He got comfortable, even though he had been doing it before, but
Mm-hmm.
he has not broken into the market here in Calgary. I encouraged him, posted him on my social media. He followed me to a few jobs.
Yeah.
Now I send him to go do events because I can't be in two places at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I try not to overbook. Like on Friday, which is tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
uh, that's October. No, oh
10th.
sorry. Yes, tomorrow.
Mm.
On is it 9th or 10th?
10th.
9th,
10th. 10th
10th.
tomorrow.
I'm going to be speaking at a church
Mm-hmm.
for couple, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He is going to be there to just observe because he has not seen me in several occasions as a public speaker.
Yeah.
He has always seen me as a master of ceremony and
Mm-hmm.
a comedian, right? So
Yeah.
I've told him be there to see me in a different dimension. I
Yeah.
remember speaking to women at a women's group. It was an all women affair.
Huh.
And it was one of my best speaking engagements. I was told to speak about happiness,
Yeah.
right? Many of us grow up thinking that the source of my happiness is my wife and my children. Or this. No, you are
Oh, goodness.
responsible for your own happiness.
Yeah.
If my wife decides to piss me off today,
Mm-hmm.
should it spoil my day for the rest of the week?
Yeah. It
No.
could.
But when you've grown to the because you see people come into work and they are just unnecessarily nasty. It
Yeah.
has nothing to do with the job or with their colleagues.
Mm.
It may be a carryover of their personal problems, right?
Yes. Definitely. Yeah.
And when I finished speaking that day, a lady came to meet me and said, Sam, you don't know what you have just done today. I think you were a prophet sent to me. I asked the women, I said, tell me one thing that you do for fun, for yourself, by yourself. And the room was quiet.
Wow. Wow.
And I told them, I said, I watch soccer. I
Yep.
play soccer.
Yep.
I play with my group of friends and I watch also on TV.
Yeah.
Sometimes when my brain is just cracking me up, I would put 2010 World Cup that
Yes.
held in South Africa.
Yeah.
So it takes me back to a very good time in my life.
Of course. Of course.
And I said, listen, look for something that you can do and that you enjoy by yourself.
Yourself. For you. Do you.
Do
Do you.
you, right? It
Do
may be
you.
running, it may
Yep.
be swimming,
Yep.
it may be dancing.
Yep.
Because you see people going through life and they are very unhappy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody should be responsible for your happiness. You are the source of your happiness.
Exactly. No, it's
At the
true.
end of that speech, I spoke for like 30 minutes or 45 minutes.
Mm.
The room was quiet.
Wow.
They've already booked me for next year
Well
because I think
done.
next is going to be in April also. They've already told me, Sam, mark your calendar. We are bringing you
Good
back.
for you. Good for you.
But
Okay, so Sam, to tie it up, what I'm trying to get our listeners, especially those who are not Nigerian, to get a sense of Nigerian humor and comedy. You got 3 minutes to give us a comedy relief of the state of the state in Nigeria and why Nigeria is I just the state of Nigeria from the standpoint of the common person, whether it's a market woman or a hawker or man, and you're doing it to a Nigerian audience for our listeners who to get a
first,
taste.
first things first. If you are watching this and you don't have any Nigerian in your life, you have not started living yet. Because we Nigerians, we are not created in this world. We came from another world. Because why will I be complaining that I live in Calgary, Alberta, and the weather is so cold? And a fellow Nigerian like me is telling me that, brother, I will buy you a ticket so that you can go back to your fatherland. A fellow Nigerian.
Yeah.
So you need one Nigerian minimum in your life, whether a man or a woman, because we see things differently.
Yeah.
That is why somebody invited me to a party, not as the MC, not as the comedian, and the person put on the invite 4 p.m. And 3:45, the person texted and said, "We
Where
are
are
about
you?
to begin." Why? 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 Why are you doing that? I've not even baited self. You are telling me we are about to begin? So what do you mean by we are about to begin? And I called the person and said, "Excuse me, sir, it's 40 minutes drive to your house. I've not even entered the shower." And the person said the party ends at 5 p.m. Who does party for 1 hour? Why now? Why would you do something like that to me? So as a Nigerian, our sense of humor is out of this world, and we
Yes.
are also very loud.
Yeah.
You can
Yes.
hear me speaking here. People outside my office can hear my voice,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
So embrace us, feel at home with us, because we are one of the rare breed. They say there are 7 wonders of the world, right?
Yeah.
It's actually 8 wonders of the world. Once you have a Nigerian in your life, you will start experiencing the 8th wonder. Wow. Thank you so much for having me.
Sam, my friend, thank you. And I agree on that 8 wonders. In fact, I was saying to people when they do make it to Mars, people, there are going to be Nigerians there going, "What took you so long? We've
Right?
been waiting.
Right?
We've been waiting for you." Because they say if you're in a city or town, there's no Nigerian there, you need to move out. Yeah.
Run for your dear life. Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you're
Run
in
for
a
your
city
life. Yeah.
and there's no Nigerian, something is definitely wrong with that city. Not good for your spiritual life. I'm telling you now. At least there must be one Nigerian there.
Exactly. That's what they say. That's what they say. Well, Sam, I again thank you so very, very much for your time. I know it's been a busy day for you hauling kids and making sure Destiny is not going to be a cranky camper. So I appreciate it, my friend. We'll have you back on the Diaspora Door. I totally want to find out how your comedy gig goes in Mexico and whether you're brushing up on Spanish in preparation for that.
I would leave that till you bring me back next time.
Oh,
I, I will give you the gist by 2026, and I'm inviting anyone that is planning to visit Calgary. May 29th, 2026 is my next comedy special in Calgary. We're going to be having over 1,000 people, and it's always the bomb. And guess what? I'm celebrating 20 years on stage.
right.
It's also my 40th birthday, and it's also an opportunity for me to launch my foundation, the Sam Precious Foundation. So it's going to be a multiple celebration. If you are around North America,
Beautiful.
come join us. You will have a great
Beautiful.
time.
Beautiful. And one last thing we like to leave our listeners with. Can you give us a recommendation of one book that you would say our listeners should read and the author?
I would say Chinua Achebe,
Yep. Yep.
and the title is The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born.
The beautiful ones are not yet born. Okay.
If
Okay.
I, if, if I am not mistaken, I think he wrote that book.
Okay.
And that book changed my life many years ago.
Yeah.
I also recently came across one that I'm reading. It's in my work bag right now. But Gifted Hands is another book I would ask people to read by the neurosurgeon
Oh,
Ben
yeah.
Carson.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been made into a movie now. Maybe you don't have the ability to read it. You should see it, and it will make you believe that there's nothing you cannot achieve. If you're a young person watching this, I'm telling you, go for it. You can do it. I believe in you.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me here
Sam,
today.
thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. Say hi to Destiny, and we'll be
I
in
will.
touch, my friend. We'll be in touch.
That's it.
Thank
Have
you
a good
so
one.
much.
Like, subscribe, and share to your friends.
Oh,
Have a
you're the
good one.
best. Thank you,
Bye.
Sam. Thank you.
The Diaspora Door podcast is brought to you by Nze Obinalo, Abiaksem Victor, Chinenye Alozie, and Anthony Daniel, and produced by Soundproof Audios. Distributed on Spotify and our website at www.diasporadoor.com. Executively produced by Nze Obinalo. Music mixing and mastering by Anthony Daniel. Signing out. See you next time.